What's up, fight fans? You are locked into the Silly Gilly Goose MMA show, UFC 330 recap. Had to bring on Max again, special guest today. Max, how you doing today, brother?
I'm doing fantastic, man. We played Fall Guys the other day, Friday afternoon.
Sir.
That was pretty lit. And then we got to watch UFC Philly last night, and now I'm on here with you, brother. So we've had a pretty cool weekend together. I'm glad we're kind of getting to wrap things up this weekend on here, talking about the phenomenal card last night, at least for the most part.
Yeah, dude. 12 fights, 8 finishes. Both champions successfully defending their belts. I mean, a lot of craziness. Let's start with the first fight of the night. We got the upset of the year here. Jeremiah Wells locking up a silly gilly in round number 3 on Miktabek Orolbai. Max, what were your thoughts on this fight?
Just shocked, man. I've seen Wells fight in person, and I know how good Orolbai is. If you follow the sport, he's really high level. But at the end of the day, man, you got somebody. You get these vets. You sometimes get these fighters that have their backs against the wall. Like maybe somebody's fighting for a contract. In Wells' situation, he's fighting to potentially not retire, put himself in
Yeah.
a matchup to fight in the top 15. You really do get some outstanding performances from some of these athletes in the octagon whenever the lights are on Saturday night. And that's exactly what happened last night. Lost a lot of money on that fight, not gonna lie, but hey, man, the post fight speech that Jeremiah Wells gave and him being such a massive underdog, I couldn't do anything but clap my hands for him. It was an absolutely sick
Yeah.
fight. Anytime he let his hands go, he was trying to put Orolbai's head in the fucking nosebleed. So he came to fight, man, and I think he deserved to win. It was a great gilly he locked in. Rarely see people locking in the way he did, and it was
Yes.
a really cool way to see the hometown guy get a dub to start the fight.
Yeah, only Philly fighter on the card fighting in the first fight of the night as the biggest underdog, and he gets the win, dude. You couldn't write it any better than that. But we did say last week that like Orolbai, man, he is a little like chinny when his wrestling can be stopped, like against Mataus Rebecki. He is a little fraudulent right there in that opening round, man. He got hit with a few shots from Wells that kind of stunned him pretty good, and then he's able to use his dominant wrestling to get it down there, but he just gets caught and yeah, got caught in a silly gilly that we love to see, dude.
It's
That's
shocking. It's shocking, I mean, he's got Uriah Faber in his corner, and I
yeah,
was sitting there watching the fight. I'm like, man, Orobai's got to get like he would get in these exchanges, and you would see the power difference and the speed difference on the well side. And I'm
yeah,
just like, man, Orobai's got to find a way to at least wrap him up, keep him close to him because that range, that was Wells's game last night and ended up
yeah.
paying off for him being able to eventually lock in the Gilly. So I was surprised to see that. Uriah Faber's, I mean, he's top of the line when it comes to coaches, man.
Yeah, dude, it was funny because like Wells like hopped the fence and like was coming back around and like started screaming, and there's Uriah Faber like right there.
He just laughed at him too. I loved that.
Yeah,
You're
it
not
was,
going to say
yeah,
anything to Faber to piss him off
yeah,
at this point.
yeah.
I thought that was really funny, though. I did peep that because he
Hell
looked
yeah.
outside the cage and then to get back into the cage, he just yelled right at Faber right there and he just laughed. So I thought that was a good moment. They should have
Yeah.
posted that more. They should have.
Yeah, yeah, dude, that was hilarious. Yeah, shout out Jeremiah Wells, man. No fear at all. He could have fought Uriah Faber right then and there. He would have been fine.
Oh, it's going to be bad, Uriah.
It's gonna be bad.
It's going to be bad.
But after that, we had another welterweight bout. Neil Magny gets the round 2 TKO over Ramiz Brahimaj. Max, I see you getting hyped, bro. What were you thinking during that Neil Magny fight? A lot of emotions.
Listen, man, I know the first round wasn't really Neil's round, but you guys, he's a crafty vet.
Crafty
Okay?
bet.
He's a crafty vet. He took zero damage in that first round, and Brahimaj was using so much energy
So
just to
much.
try to do anything to Neil, but he didn't. That's the
Yeah.
thing, you know what I mean? He probably
Yeah.
did win the first round, but I thought the control time was, it was pretty heavy. But
Yeah.
like we said, and even the commentator said this, I think, he took no damage. So
No
what
damage.
happens in the second round? Neil Magny, the Haitian sensation, the man that's still in the UFC, comes around and he freaking gets it done, man. I mean, cardio is a kryptonite to any athlete. I don't care what sport it is.
Yeah,
And Neil Magny's always going to have the cardio, man. So you're going to have to put his
always.
lights out, or you're going to have to choke him out, because Neil's definitely going to beat you in that category. It's crazy how old he is and how good his cardio is. But hey, man, I'm happy to sit here. I'm happy to say I'm a friend of Neil, man. He's an inspiration to all of us, and I mean, dude, what a fucking win, man. I'm so happy for him.
Dude, I'm so hyped, dude. Just love to see it, man. Like Brahimaj really isn't like that entertaining of a fighter in the first place. So like him getting this fight was kind of a little crazy because like Magny's like pretty much just like a gate. Even though he's not ranked anymore, he still is like the gatekeeper of welterweight pretty much.
For sure.
And I didn't think Brahimaj was ready for that next level, and this was a huge jump for him. And Neil Magny showed exactly why. And second fight of the night, back to back underdogs, dude. Philly had us going crazy to start the card.
Yeah, three punch combo too. There was like 65 to 70% of you guys that in all four categories picked against Neil. I was a part of that 33% that did have
Wow.
Neil. So I'm excited to see him win, man.
Hey,
That was
I
awesome.
was part of that 33% as well. Let's go,
Let's go,
baby.
Connor. Come on, man. Come
Shout
on.
out Neil Magny.
I'm gonna
Getting
say
into
though, I'm talking a lot of shit right now. This is the worst I've done on a card the whole year. So we're gonna unveil what happened here in a minute. But we can go ahead and get into the next one. Huge dub for Neil. Huge dub.
Yeah. Shout out Neil Magny. Getting into our next fight, a light heavyweight bout with UFC debutant Lucas Fernando taking on Rafael Tobias. Lucas Fernando putting on a clinic, a striking clinic, getting the round 3 TKO, two knockdowns in the fight, KOs him with a knee to the body right up the middle. Oh, Max, what'd you think of Fernando's debut?
Thought it was awesome, man. And a lot of people don't know this. I think a lot of people have just probably started joining me here on, if you've been following me the last few months. But Lucas was actually one of the first guys I ever interviewed from Brazil.
Oh,
So
hell yeah.
I've known Lucas for a long time. He's such a nice guy. And I told you guys, like I said, there's not a lot of fights that I picked right on this card, but this was one of the two fights that I said exactly what was going to happen, and it happened. I said that Lucas's 80-inch reach was going to be a problem because there's a lot of UFC fighters that they'll go in there, they'll still get in the pocket, they'll still trade with guys, and they don't use their range. Lucas was not going to do that, and he perfectly executed an awesome game plan. He was way too much on the feet. I think I think Lucas is going to be a fucking problem, and I think something else I want to point out is he was very calculated and he was very precise with every single combination and strike he threw last night. He didn't overextend on anything. He didn't
No.
get too aggressive. He was just calm, picked his shots, and ended up getting a phenomenal round 3 KO. I mean, I was going to be surprised if he didn't get out of there, but I think the odds makers fucked up big time last night. He was plus 115 on FanDuel before that fight started for that fight to end by knockout. I thought he was one of the picks of the night. If you guys didn't know Lucas before last night, you better
I,
tune the fuck in now. He's a problem. He is so
yeah.
good.
No, he's and light heavyweight just keeps getting prospects. I mean, Abdul-Rahman Yakayev, Navajo Sterling. We got Lucas Fernando, Muhammad Saidov, who just fought a few weeks ago against Justin Jacoby. Oh my gosh, it is getting stacked at 205. And dude, his striking is so clean. Like you said, so accurate, never overextended. The announcers even like GC said at one point, he's like, has he even missed a punch? Like, I don't think I've seen him miss a punch. I don't remember seeing him miss a punch either. I don't know how he missed 43 headshots, but great accuracy, dude. Great accuracy. And the speed of him was just way too much for Tobias. And you just love to see it, man. You love to see these prospects shine, especially after he lost in the Contender Series a few years ago to Cesar Almeida. So it's good to see those guys get it back and really prove their worth. But getting into our next fight on the card, a middleweight bout between Vicente Luque and Tresean Gore. Tresean Gore actually getting it done on the judges' scorecards. 30-27 on two, 29-28 on the other. Noah and Mason's Golden Goose from the pod, but Mason switched it. Was Luque. So this is a one Golden Goose down. Kind of a damper here. Max, saw you shaking your head. What are your thoughts on this fight?
Well, I'm just going to be totally honest with you guys. If you're watching this, you don't know anything about me. Tresean Gore is the only UFC fighter on the roster who has a problem with me. So I picked Luque to win the fight. I'm not the biggest fan of Tresean Gore after some voice memos that he has sent me. But either way, it was a gritty performance by him. He got his teeth knocked out at the end, and he was still able to get on the mic and, say some good stuff. So good for him. I know, before we had our different views on things. He stopped doing some stuff that was for the better, and I think
Yeah.
it's on the show now, and that's why he's put together a 2-fight win streak. Great win. Luque just didn't. I don't know, man. I said this going into the fight. Like Luque's 34, Tresean's 32. People were talking about Luque being washed and stuff like that. But there was just no pop on Luque's shots, man. There really wasn't. He was not really a threat on the feet at all, to be honest with you. And Tresean looked very powerful on the feet, and he rightfully so did get the unanimous decision win there. I thought it was a good performance from Tresean. All biases,
No.
all that.
Yeah, no, 100% best win of his career by far. I mean, he's just these last two fights, he's looked incredible, dude. I mean, he actually could be making strides here at middleweight, and those tough guys, you love to see that from them. But yeah, Luque really didn't do much at all. I don't know how he even got one round on a scorecard. That's pretty crazy. But were you ever like a WWE guy? Did you ever watch WWE when you were a kid?
Yeah, John Cena was my goat.
Do you know, like, remember, like, in fight, like, in a wrestling match, like, when a guy's, like, about to, like, hit his finisher, and it's like, oh my God, he's gonna hit it, and then the other guy, like, reverses it at the last second, and then he hits his finisher, and then wins the match? That's, like, what it felt like watching this fight when he had that anaconda, like, locked up. Like, that's his signature choke, bro. He's got it locked up. He is squeezing, 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 and I can tell from, like, my couch that he didn't have that locked in. And he's still like squeezing, squeezing, squeezing. And I'm like, is this WWE right now? Is John Cena about to have his FU reversed here? And CM Punk's just going to hit a GTS? And yeah, like that's basically like what happened. Like 2 seconds later, he's on the ground eating shots. And like Herb Dean's about to step in and stop it. It was just some WWE stuff right here, man. That was just like, I don't know. It was just too good to be true.
I mean,
Right
you can only go for subs for so long, and then eventually you got to back off it. You know what I mean? Like Luque
there.
obviously burnt his arms out, and it's like you just said,
Yeah.
it felt like he had the anaconda choke for so many seconds.
Yeah. He
Eventually
was.
you have to give up on it. As Tresean, obviously, I mean, I'm sure it didn't feel great for Tresean, but I mean, he wasn't going to tap clearly after the first 10 or 15 seconds of it. At that point, you got to go
Dude,
to
it
Plan
was.
B. At that point, you have
Yeah,
to.
it was a long squeeze. It was like a 20-second squeeze. Yeah. A little ridiculous. But shout out Tresean Gore, man. He's gritty. He's gritty AF. And yeah, the teeth getting knocked out. That was so cool for him to talk on the mic still. But yeah, shout out these middleweights, bro. Getting into our next middleweight bout. Dante Johnson getting the round one knockout over Eric McConico. I know Eric McConico is a friend of Max. Just did an interview with him not too long ago. Shout out Eric. He actually follows us on Instagram as well. We love you, Eric. We know you'll be back. But yeah, man, sometimes you just gotta take one for these prospects.
Yeah,
So
that's what happened last night. I knew Dante was going to look improved in this fight because he made the move to syndicate. I mean, the dude's in the gym every day with like Sean Strickland, guys like this, man. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
Chris
You're only going to
Curtis.
get better if you're around. You got to be the best, you got to surround yourself with the best.
Oh
I
yeah.
kind of knew that we would see an improved Dante Johnson. Eric's still really good, though. He's had some good wins this year. But last night just wasn't his night. It absolutely sucks for me to see one of my boys get put out like that because I thought that was probably the best finish on the card. Uh, but
Yeah.
and from a style perspective or like style points, I guess we'll
Yeah,
get into
yeah.
what I thought the best finish was on the card here in a minute. But no, it sucks to see him go out like that. But Eric's a good game opponent. He's at the MMA lab with guys like Tresean Gore, and you guys know. I mean, I don't even have to go down the list of the MMA lab, one of the best gyms in the
Yes.
country. So
Yep.
just I know how bad Eric works, man. He was an underdog earlier this year. He got the win. So last night, unfortunately, wasn't his night. But hopefully, we get another fight probably at the beginning of next year for him.
Yeah. Yeah, let's hope so, bro. Shout out Eric. Yeah, Dante looking looking a little reckless. I would
Yeah,
say he
yeah. Eric almost caught him a few times.
yeah, he almost got caught a few times. I kind of like the move down to welterweight for Dante Johnson. I think he's a little undersized at middleweight just because he's only 5'8". You know, a lot of those guys are like 6 foot, 6'1", and those guys are, walking around at 220. And I don't know. I think he just needs to go down one more weight class, and I think that's where he'll be good. But I mean, hey, he's still knocking out these middleweights, man. So, and debuted as a heavyweight. So the sky is the limit for this guy. I'm really excited to see where he goes next.
For sure. He's only going to get better, man. Being at a gym like that, having those coaches, he'll be a
Yeah.
problem for
And
sure.
he's only been doing pro MMA for like a little over 2 years. Like that's just insane.
Crazy. Absolutely nuts. Yeah, good performance from him. Good for him. Really clean knockout. Really good stuff.
Yeah, dude, really good stuff here. Charles Johnson, energy, getting the fifth twister submission in UFC history here in a catchweight bout over Eduardo Chaoplin. Max, I know you were hyped AF last night with that energy dub. Had to make a video for the IG. Why don't you share your thoughts here with the people?
Well, I'm just gonna say this right now. I fucking love Charles. Charles has never been on he's never been on my channel before. He doesn't do a whole lot of interviews and stuff like that,
Yeah.
but he's a guy that he was kind of like talking to me even before like I even made the channel. So like I really fuck with Charles. I'm close to St. Louis, I guess from like a geography standpoint. Like there's not a whole lot of MMA going on around me where I'm at. So like with Charles being from St. Louis, that's only like a 2 hour drive for me. And he's at Fusion XL in Orlando. I got all my homies down there as well. Lucas Alexander was in his corner last night as well. Shout out to
Oh,
him.
man.
But man, it's just another crafty prospect killing performance from Energy. I knew as soon as he got up from that and he still had his hands up and he was circling, he was still able to move his head. I was like, he's okay. He's fine.
Yeah.
And it's a huge dub for him. I'm so glad that he also got a 100G performance of the night bonus
Oh,
as well. So he
damn.
absolutely deserves that. He is kind of the
100%.
125 Kevin Holland. I'm going to keep calling him the 125 BMF. If they had that, he would definitely be fighting for that. So hell of a win from Charles, man. There's no fucking chance he was going to walk out to the Rocky Balboa song in Philadelphia and quit for you guys. Not
No.
a chance he was going to do that. That's the song he walked out to. He loves Philadelphia. He's a huge Eagles fan. And he showed up last night. He didn't quit whenever he got chinned. He got up and he was able to get one of the coolest submissions I've ever seen in my life. I don't even think I didn't even know what a Scottish twister was. I'm going to be honest. I might be a casual for saying that.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what that was. So that was a hell of a performance. Great way for him to get back in the win column because he got banana split recently, and then he gets his own highlight submission last night. So
Yeah, he needed that.
fucking
Yeah.
sick performance from Charles Johnson. I'm so happy for him. Let's go.
Oh, 100%, bro. That was awesome. And Chaoplin, dude, like when I first started getting into MMA, Charles Johnson was like really good, and then he went on that 4-fight win streak in 2024. So I know a good deal about Charles Johnson. And when they were showing Chaoplin warming up, and they said that he was a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu blue belt, I was like, oh my God, Charles Johnson's gonna sub this guy in the first round. Like Charles Johnson's a black belt. Like I knew that. Like he's a judo black belt, BJJ black belt. He's a dog on the ground, just chooses not to use it. And what happens in that first minute of that fight? He shoots a takedown. And I'm like, yep, he's going to submit him, dude. I was plus 1,200 by submission through just $5 on it. I'm not crazy, guys. But, gets the twister. Someone else hit that, like, I don't know if it was a Scottish twister, but it was like that, pretty much that same twister. Someone hit that exact same thing, like, earlier in the year. It was not too long ago, actually. It was some Russian guy. Same situation. He had his back with the body triangle, and the guy, like, tried to turn around into him, and then he just, like, tightened it up. I don't know if that one's a Scottish one as well, but I knew it was a twist. Like those are nasty. That is a nasty submission to get caught into, and that hurts, bro. That really, really hurts. But shout out Chaoplin, dude. He actually had a really good performance on short notice. against a really dangerous and always game opponent in Charles Johnson, and got the knockdown as well. Who Charles Johnson? I mean, as of late, he's been pretty easy to hit, but before Charles Johnson was not a guy you could easily just go in there and touch up. But shout out Eduardo Chaplin, one of DC's guys. I can't wait to see what they do with him next. Should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, they better. I'm telling you right now, you guys better quit betting against these dudes that have been in the UFC, especially someone like Charles Johnson who always takes out prospects. Minus 128 right before that fight started last night.
That was free. That was free, dude. Yeah, that was
Come on.
some weird line movement last
Come
night
on.
as well. There was another fight coming up that we're going to talk about. Had some weird line movement too. But our next fight of the night, a welterweight bout, our featured prelim here. My golden goose, baby, honk, Chidi and Jokwani gets the unanimous decision win over one of my favorite fighters, Joel Alvarez. Unfortunately, I had to pick against one of my favorites. I just knew, man. I kind of just knew when you like have a favorite fighter, you know everything about them. You know how they fight, and I knew this is exactly what Joel was gonna do. Everybody thought he was just gonna go in there and get the sub. That's not Joel's game. He doesn't just go in there and force takedowns. His only takedown in the UFC was against that Vicente Luque in round 3 when Luque was gassed, and that's it. Joel Alvarez is a striker. He likes to stand and bang, and he played right into Chidi's game here, and Chidi just unloaded these freaking kicks on him, one after another, just how I freaking said it. I'm really surprised she didn't get the knockout with how much Joel Alvarez was just standing right there in his face. But we'll take a 30-27 on two judges' scorecards here for a nice honk. Max, saw you shaking your head here, assuming you had Joel Alvarez and some parlays.
Dude, I thought Alvarez was a lock, man, to get just inside the distance. I thought it was a lock because I knew he was better on the ground than Chidi if he got there, and I thought he was going to be better on the feet. I saw Chidi get choked out by Jake Matthews a year ago in person in UFC Nashville, and I'm just like, dude, Yoel Alvarez is so much better than Jake Matthews. Like, I'm not even trying to be an asshole by saying that, but
Yeah, no.
sometimes, guys, that just goes to show you that MMA math does not always have a good solution at the end of it. You know, it doesn't make sense sometimes. It's not a formula you can plug in and it's going to work every single time. So, great
Yeah.
performance from Chidi. I did lose some money, but you know, once again, if I'm going to lose money, I know Chidi almost pulled out of the fight due to his coach passing away. I think it was either last week or the week before that. So it's
That's
hard
sad.
to. I'm going to quit betting against these guys that like have their backs against the wall. I'm going to have to quit doing it because it's kind of one of those things. Me and Steve talked about it. I brought it up on his picks last week whenever we did that together. I was like, Chidi's coach just passed away, so Chidi might go out here and get a win. You know, and I didn't end up going through with it. I picked Yoel. I think he's really good, but he's on a 2-fight losing skid now, so we'll see what happens for him next. Might need to pop back down at lightweight. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Things aren't looking good for him right now. I mean, yeah, it was a short notice fight against a pretty game opponent, but I don't know. Yeah, I mean, he was a minus 300 favorite. You know, I mean that was his fight. And he was training with Islam for this camp against Ian Garry. So I mean, I don't know, dude. Joe Alvarez, he's a lot of fun. He can be a lot of fun. It's just I don't know what he was doing. He was just standing there, literally like him and Ian Garry had like the same game plan, and they were just standing there. I don't know. But getting into our main card now. Sorry we're taking a little long here, boys. But main card now. Sad moment to start the card here. Esteban Ribovics gets the round 2 TKO over Edson Barboza. And then Edson Barboza calls it a career. Not Mason. Oh my God, Max. what what are your thoughts on this fight? And what did you think of Edson Barboza's career?
I thought Esteban was the lock of the card to get a knockout. Anytime you have a fighter talking about retirement the week of, especially in the matchup style that was in this one, we kind of knew Esteban was gonna
Yeah.
get a knockout here. Didn't know when it was gonna happen, but it was gonna happen at some point. I'm just glad that Barbosa didn't get like extremely brutally chinned. You know, it got stopped while he
Yeah.
was still standing. So I thought that was probably best case scenario,
Yep.
especially after what he looked like on the stool after the first round. Not a chance in hell, though, a legend like Edson Barboza is going to quit on the stool, though, guys. I
No,
mean, he's gave us
never.
15 years of absolute wars. If he was on a card, we were tuning in for that. I'm getting a phone call right now. Don't know why. And, yeah, it sucks to see him go out like that. But like I said, I think that was probably best case scenario for the opponent that he had in front of him. And I think Esteban Ribovics is very deserving of somebody just outside the top 15 or give him like 13, 14, or 15 at lightweight. If he's going to get somebody outside, I did have somebody comment this last night underneath my reel. I'm not going to call for this because these are both of my friends, but somebody commented that Esteban should fight Drew Dober for a spot just right there at to get
That's
into
a
the
good
ranks at
one.
lightweight. So I'm not going to sit here and make that be the matchmaker. I don't like watching my friends fight. They just recently booked Elijah Smith versus Davey Grant as well. Worst fight
Banger.
that's been put together since I've been doing this. Absolutely, that sucks. So we'll talk about that another time. But yeah, I don't like to see my friends fight. But hey, somebody commented Dover versus Ribovics. You can't tell me that doesn't have 100 G's written all over it for fighting.
Dude,
That'd be a
oh
banger.
yeah. Oh yeah, that's a banger, dude. That's a great fight to make. Yeah, Ribovics just a high volume striker, dude. A lot of just going forward. Love to see it after his last fight against Gamrot when he was very, very hesitant and very scared of the takedown threat. So yeah, give him these fun fights with these strikers, dude. Like he's clearly not gonna be a champion. He doesn't have the grappling to do it, but he puts on some really exciting fights. I mean, at the spear with Daniel Zellhuber, I mean, there's a lot of great opportunities for Ribovics. But Barboza, thank you for an amazing career. It was an honor to watch you fight. Glad I got to see him in person as well at 319 in Chicago. Got to see him fight Drakkar Close.
Yep.
He should have won that fight. He got pretty robbed in that one, I thought. But, that's the fight game. And, yeah, he will be missed, man. He will be missed. But getting into our next fight on the main card, which should not have been on the main card, which I literally made a freaking clip about this fight being on the main card and how we need to stop setting up Mansur Abdul-Malik. High risk, low reward. And what happens? We take this risk, and now this prospect is completely dead in the water. There is no hope for reviving Mansur Abdul-Malik after this one, dude. Getting a round 2 rear naked choke. Dustin Stoltzfus shocks the entire world. And yeah, I'm pretty sure everybody in the crowd looked like how Max looks after that fight. I mean, everybody and their mother had Mansur Abdul-Malik by KO here. This was devastating. This was devastating. And, I can't say I didn't tell you guys. I literally told you guys. I literally told you. I made a video days in advance. And, yeah, I mean, this is what you get when you put these prospects on the main card and against these trash cans. This is a possibility. And now, what do you do with Mansur Abdul-Malik? What do you do now? What do you do now?
He can't be in the UFC.
What do you do? Like, what do you do?
I don't care. He can't be in
Yeah.
the UFC.
All credibility is gone. He has to start from zero.
Yeah, this is where I'm putting my foot down. I'm putting my foot down right here. What the fuck?
What the
What
frick?
the fuck? Are we serious? Are we serious? You are literally a layup. You walk onto a basketball court. There's nobody else in the gym. You've got a ball in your hand. You go to shoot a layup. That is what the UFC did last night for Mansour. They literally gave him that basketball and said, Mansour, walk out on the basketball court right now. No defenders. Shoot a layup. Shoot a layup. 16-8, year layoff. Dustin Stoltzfus, who I can't recall any of his 16 wins. Every time that he fights, I feel like he gets brutally finished.
Yeah.
I saw him get spinning elbowed in person against not Diego, Bruno Correa in Louisville a few years ago. And I'm just like, how? Like, how is this dude in the UFC? Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. The UFC is gonna feed him to the wolves. I know he's probably on a 3-fight contract right now, and he's lost 2. So we're fighting for that contract next time, buddy. And I can bet
He's
your ass. I don't care who it is. He could be fighting Hasbulla next. I'm taking Hasbulla's money line. I said it. I don't care. So that's my thoughts on that fight. We went from Dustin Stoltzfus though. That slam he had. All jokes aside, that slam that Dustin had was pretty badass, and it just goes to show you that Dustin came into the building last night, with the mindset of I have to put out my best performance to go out here and get a win. Mansoor walked into that arena last night thinking that he was going to show up, just be bigger, be the better athlete, and win the fight. And sports are all mentality. That's why we tune in. Doesn't matter what sport it is. That's just why we watch the events, because you never know what's going to happen. And a lot of it takes place right here. So good win from Dustin. All jokes aside, Mansoor, he could go on to be a champion. That man will never see my bet slips ever again.
Never. I mean, last fight exposed on the feet. He's been already exposed on the ground multiple times, and then gets exposed on the ground again with that slam, dude. Like you said, that slam was violent. That was very violent, and that's all people are gonna remember now. Like anytime you talk about Mansoor Abdul-Malik now, you're like, oh yeah, that guy that got slammed by Dustin Stoltzfus. That's how I'm gonna remember him from now on.
Yeah.
I mean,
did you pick Dustin with you saying that stuff? Did you have Dustin last night?
I didn't have Dustin. I just said that like Abdul-Malik shouldn't be in this position to get like an easy layup. He shouldn't get this fight on a main card. Like, he's proven that he's beatable. I said that he's beatable. He's only won 4 of his 10 rounds. Now he's only won 4 of his 12 rounds that he's fought in. Like, that's like he's just proven that he's not a good fighter. That's all I said. Like, the odds are skewed. And then someone was like, we should probably fade Malik. And I was like, definitely best to fade Malik. And yeah, should have faded Abdul-Malik, but I still bet on him because I was dumb. But I still made some money, so we're good.
There you go. That a kid. That's what we like to hear, bro. That's what we like to hear. That's
yes,
all
sir.
that matters at the end of the day. That's what
still profited. Still profited, and someone in Europe won the giveaway, so we had to send someone some euros last night. That was pretty cool. Shout out to my European fans out there. Love you guys.
We're gonna get to that fight in a second. We're gonna get to that fight in a second too. Yeah, buddy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But real quick pit stop here. Really quick pit stop here. Jalen Turner only needed 39 seconds to KO Fernandes, the calf-kicking legend himself. Jalen Turner was our lock of the week on the channel for this week. 5 weeks in a row hitting our lock of the week, boys. So make sure you're tuning in for those. Yeah, this was so free. The line movement on this one was crazy. When we made the graphic, Jalen Turner was minus 167 at the start of the fight. It was a pick'em's odds, minus 110 each side. And I'm like, oh my, is Jalen hurt? Like, the only reason he's losing this fight is if he's hurt. And nope, he's not hurt. Fernandes is pretty hurt right now, I can tell you that. But what were your thoughts on Jalen Turner's 39-second knockout here?
Hey, I'm the same boat with you guys, man. I thought, whenever you posted that graphic yesterday, I was like, he's gonna win this fight. I said it earlier in the week on my picks. I'm gonna keep referring to me and Steve stuff. I said that I called 2 fights exactly how they happened. This was the other one that happened. I told you that Fernandes was gonna throw a kick and Jalen was gonna time it up and he was gonna get in his face and hit him with something. And that's exactly what happened last night. Just from a physicality standpoint, I don't know. I mean, listen, I know Turner's got some toothpicks for legs, guys. I mean, like, we're not going to sit here and bullshit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's obvious. But you got to look at all the other assets as well, man. Like, you got to be in the pocket if you're Fernandes. You got to get it within the reach. You got to get within the range to be able to kick him. And Turner was able to pick up on the read quickly, and hell of a finish, man. That's another guy. You saw some lightweights really show out last night on this card. I think Turner does deserve a ranked opponent next. He has just been a changed man since he's came back from the retirement, and he's always had the talent. I just don't think he had the mindset. But, bro, if you get this Jalen Turner, if you get this guy, he can beat a lot of people. He could be a serious problem. He's got some serious power. He's super quick, and I think he's a really good dude. I know I'm sitting on here cussing and stuff like that, but I'm a Christian too, you know. So I love the movement he's going with right now, and I'm a big fan of the tarantula, bro. What a finish by him. That was sick.
Yeah, no, shout out Jalen Turner, dude. Like a year ago, fell out of love with the sport, retired at 29 years old, and to see him back here with two finished wins back to back, over pretty game opponents, and to see him fall in love back with the sport, you just love to see it, man. Especially someone so talented like him. Uh, so much power. 9-6 in the UFC now, I believe. Yep, sixth knockout in the UFC. He is just so freaking good, man. Definitely deserves top 15. And I gotta say, I would love to see him fight Tom Nolan. I think that would be a really fun fight. Those guys are both really lengthy, really big for 155, and I think Tom Nolan's got to defend his spot there at number 11 after beating Fair Siam.
Yeah,
But
run that. I like that matchup too. I'm with that. I like that a
hell
lot.
yeah, yeah.
That's a great matchmaking right there, Connor.
Thank you. Yeah, so many fun fights at lightweight, and I think they said it during the brawl. It's the most competitive division right now, and I agree. It's just stacked top to bottom. Like there's probably 15 guys that aren't ranked that could be ranked. Like that division is just so good. And
Welterweight and featherweight's pretty stacked too, though.
yeah, the
Those
UFC is in a
final two
great place
positions,
right now.
it's like bantamweight's fucking act too. I
Yeah,
don't know.
every UFC's in a great spot right now.
It is. Lightweight's always going to be good, though. It's like Connor said. Lightweight's always going to have killers. Anytime there's a lightweight bout on the card, you better be watching. It's going to be
Yeah,
fun to watch.
no, definitely. Getting into our co-main event, our first of two title fights here. Mackenzie Dern taking on Gillian Robertson, getting it done 49-46 on two judges' scorecards with a 48-47 on the other one. Max, how did you score this, and what did you think of Dern's performance?
I thought the judges had it right. I mean, I could see where they went 3-2 or 4-1 in Dern's favor. I can see that. I didn't have a problem with it. I did pick Dern. I just didn't think that Robertson was going to have anything for her. I was actually told yesterday that Gillian's last five opponents since they fought her are 0-19. So that's a stat that I did not know going into yesterday, even before I picked Dern to win. But even whenever that happened, I was just even more confident. Um, I liked how aggressive Mackenzie was early on. You could tell that she was really
Yes.
looking for the finish the first 15 minutes of the fight. But then after that, she was like, I'm up 3-0 right now, or, easily for sure up 2-0 in that matter. But really not a whole lot to break down. It really breaks my heart whenever these types of fights happen because, if there's a women's fight in a co-main event or in the main event of a numbered card, that means there's a belt on the line. That's usually a spot that, some females don't get sometimes, you know what I mean? So it sucks to see fights play out like that because I'm a big advocate for people not saying like this is a piss break. We need to go to the bathroom. We need to go to the souvenir shop now that women are about to fight. Like, dude, there's so many fun women that fight in the UFC. And
Yeah.
these two girls they are a part of that, but that fight last night wasn't the best. It made me really sad for women's MMA. Just off the top of my head, and somebody that I really do support, somebody that's a good friend of mine, like Fatima Klein, like her fight versus Tabitha, like I know it went to a decision, but it was still like even so much more fun than last night. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
like I don't know. I hated to see how the fight played out last night, but I thought Mackenzie clearly won.
Yeah.
So you got to run her and Zhang next. Her and Whaley next. Got
Yeah, I mean, I hope so. I don't know what Wei Lee's doing. I thought she would get this next title shot before Gillian. I don't know what they're doing with her, but yeah, hopefully she's still at strawweight. That they definitely need it. But if not, Fatima Klein's gonna get that belt next year, like
she's
guaranteed.
favored. She's favored to be the champion by the end of 2027. Do you know that?
She's the favorite.
Yeah, on sportsbooks, Fatima's the favorite to be the
Whoa,
end of year champ for 2027 right now.
love it, dude. Shout out Fatima, dude. She's a goat. She's a
Yep.
goat.
They know
But
ball.
yeah,
Bro. I'm telling you, they know. They
they
know.
know. They know. Dude, and like this card, I going into it, I expected this to be just like 322, like when Islam fought JDM and who was the co-main of that? Oh, yeah, Zhang Wei Li and Valentina. Like, I kind of expected the same thing. I was like, every fight leading up to the co-main and main is probably going to be a finish. I was very surprised that Luque and Gore went to the scorecards and Chidi and Joel Alvarez went to the scorecards. I cannot believe those were the two fights that did it. But like 8 finishes, and I just knew these two fights were just going to be grappling fests, wrestling, crotch sniffing. But I mean, uh, that's the price you pay for booking this as your co-main and main on a numbered card. I still find them entertaining. I mean, Islam. We'll talk about that in a second, but I still follow like Mackenzie Dern is very entertaining. Like she is always going for the finish. She's not like Raul Rosas where they just get you down and hold you there and touch your wiener. No, she was
Main event, by the way.
yeah, main event by the way.
Ronnie Barcelos.
Yeah, just bleh, bleh. I'll be hammering Barcelos money line. But yeah, Mackenzie Dern so good, and like Gillian Robertson's resume was nowhere near the resume of Dern's. And like you said, her last 5 opponents 0-19 after fighting her. And when Gillian's grappling is stopped, she has nothing else in her arsenal. And you saw it last night. Like as soon as like she attempted a takedown right away, and Dern almost front choked her, and she didn't even try like another takedown until round 5. And that just shows you how dominant Mackenzie Dern is on the ground. Showed levels to the game and proved exactly why she's the women's strawweight champion. And I'm really excited for the Zhang Weili fight.
Yeah, that'll be a fun one for sure. And I think Weili's going to force Mackenzie to have to fight for 25 minutes if it does go that long. That will be a lot more fun of a fight than I think we got last night. And I do agree with Connor. I also said that this card does not have great name value, but there's going to be a lot of finishes and it'll be a fun card. And it was a fantastic card until the co-main event last night. So Philly people, I hope you guys got your money's worth. I think you personally, I think you did. So that was sick. It was a good card. It was a good card.
Yeah. And to end the card off, our main event, Islam Makhachev successfully making his first welterweight title defense against Ian Machado Garry, 49-46 on 2 cards, with another judge giving it a 48-47, all in favor of Islam. Max, take it away.
Yeah, I mean, it was just another Islam performance. First round, he just controlled Ian against the cage. Not really much happened. They just kind of sat in that corner. So you had to give the round to Islam. Second round, I mean, that head kick was nuts. I would have died if that hit me in my head. Probably, I literally would have died. You would have seen somebody die in the octagon. That was a sick head kick from Islam. It's been a weapon in so many of his last fights. He even got it with Volkanovski in round 1 a few years ago. But that just shows you how good his head kick is, because Ian thought he was out of range. That's why his hands were dropped. As he was backing up, and Islam's foot just reached all the way out to his head. So that would have been, I think if Islam knocked him out when that happened, like just put him out cold, dude, I'd probably go ahead and put Islam as the GOAT. I mean, I know he's got the longest win streak now in the UFC of all time, and he is really, really good. But yeah, that fight could have been better last night, but I'm going to be honest with you, when you go into these championship bouts, you go against somebody that's the GOAT, you have to go take it. You have to go take it. If I'm Ian Garry and I'm walking into that arena last night, I'm saying we can't let this be close. I have to go take this shit from him. There was no way that if this got to the judges and Ian didn't do anything spectacular, that they were going to give Ian, the win. There was no way that was ever going to happen. So I thought it was a decent fight, for the times that it was on the feet. But I'm kind of like, I agree. I know a lot of people get mad at Dana for whenever he opens his mouth and they say he doesn't care about the UFC and stuff like that. But I actually really agree with what Dana said in his post-fight press conference last night.
Yes,
the glazing, the respect, you have to have that in sports to an extent, obviously, especially if you're going against a guy like Islam. He never causes any trouble, man. He's just there to fight and do his job, and he's he's one of the best of all time. But there's a certain level of I used to like Ian Garry a lot. I still do like the way he fights, but like as a person, I can't like him. He is so fucking weird. Like I've never
Yeah.
seen somebody glaze. Like it's like he wanted Islam's like it's like he wanted to be Islam's buddy. Like he wanted to have like Islam's like friendship after the fight or like have Islam's respect or something like that. You know,
Yeah.
he was gonna get that regardless of the outcome though, I feel like. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
like
100%.
Ian just looked fresh. Islam didn't look the freshest going into that fifth round. I would have
Oh,
really liked to have seen Garry take some chances, take some opportunities because he just kept standing in front of him. I talked about
yes.
it that Ian has some of the best footwork in the UFC. I literally said that
Yeah.
earlier this week, and a lot of people they sleep on that. But he just stood in front of Islam last night,
Stripping.
waiting to counter him. And at some point, you got to not be scared to throw that overhand right or throw something and not have Islam duck underneath for the takedown. You know, so that's kind of what it came down to. I think that fight could have been like one of the best fights of all time if like both got like Ian needed to make Islam fight more, but Islam probably could have done a
Yeah.
little bit more, but he knew that Ian was a threat. So I think that could have been like one of the best fights of all time, but like we just didn't get it. And it was up to Ian to push the pace, and he didn't do it. He walked out of the arena last night, looked like he went out, you know, with the boys that night at the bar. So that's
Yeah.
my thoughts. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I agree with everything you said. Yeah, I mean, Garry in the first round, just getting held up against the fence, and it's like, all right, that's Islam. He's not getting him down, so like this is good. Like this is Gary's not just letting him hold him down. Like he's staying up. He's proven to Islam he can stand. And then in the second round, gets dropped with the head kick and survives. I was like, all right, he's got this. He's surviving right now. He's surviving. He's got. And then that crazy slam after the head kick too. We didn't even. Oh my god! I thought he was gonna get. I thought he was gonna get choked right there. I was like, holy cow! Islam hits that head kick, slams him, and then gets that sub off. Go. End of discussion. But then that third round, dude, he came out, was started to push the pace a little bit towards the end of the third round. Like he was, but like there was a few times in the fight where there would be like 40 to 50 seconds that go by and nobody's throwing a punch. They're just standing there. And it's because I mentioned earlier that Joe Alvarez was training with Islam for this fight. And like I said, Joe Alvarez and Garry were pretty much just fighting the exact same way. And I think Islam's camp might have had a feeling that that's exactly how Garry was going to fight. And then they brought in Joe Alvarez, who's the same build, same size as Ian Garry, to train that. And I think Joe Alvarez just forgot to fight his normal fighting style and was just mimicking Ian Garry because he had just had to mimic Ian Garry in his training camp. That's my theory, tinfoil hat theory. But I mean, you look at those two were fighting the exact same fight against two completely different opponents. But Ian Garry, dude, yeah, if he had just pushed the pace a little more, he could have won this fight easily. Islam was doing nothing with those takedowns. I'm really surprised that he got round 4. I scored that for Garry. I had a 2-2 going into that last round. And then yeah.
He landed more. Like Ian had more damage in that fourth round. Islam definitely had the
Yeah.
control time, obviously, but I mean, Ian was still digging shots to the body, trying to go upstairs when he could. Like, I
Yeah.
don't. I thought you could have scored round 4 for Garry too, but I understand why people didn't. But he did cause more damage.
Yeah, it got to a certain point where Islam wasn't throwing anything. The only strikes being thrown were from Garry. It was those kicks to the body that were just ripping him good. And he landed a few nice head kicks. But yeah, Garry was just doing his work to the body, man. He wasn't. If he had more volume, he could have easily won this fight. And then, like you said, in that fifth round, he didn't even try to take a chance. No sense of urgency. He got up against the fence again, and then just let Islam take him down. Was down there, and it didn't even feel like Islam was trying to go for a finish. Felt like Islam was like, all right, I think I'm up 3 rounds here. I'm just gonna keep him down here and win this fight. Like at the start of that fifth round, Islam did not want to be in there anymore. I don't think we've ever seen anybody put Islam in this position before. I guess you could argue with the first Volk fight, but I don't know, dude. His face was just battered up, and he like was taking deep breaths, walking slow. I don't think he was like that during the first Volk fight. I could be wrong, but this was the weakest I've ever seen Islam Makhachev.
Yeah, it was the first time he's fought somebody that much bigger than him, and like these Dagestani guys, they rehydrate really well after they get off the scale on Friday. So it's hard to match their physicality on the day of the fight. But last night, I think you had that with Ian. I mean, Ian was the
Yeah.
first guy that he's fought that's had that much height and that much of a build on him, I guess. So I,
No.
I I'd like to see that fight again one day, but I'm just, dude. Carlos Prates is my favorite UFC fighter that I don't know. Like I cannot stress that enough. I've said that so much on camera. I don't want to see that fight.
What?
Don't want to see it.
Dude, I think Carlos and Michael Morales both easily beat Islam after seeing what I saw Saturday night. Dude, you put Carlos Prates in that cage Saturday night. He's pushing forward. He's gonna push that pace on Islam, especially them seeing it now. Like they know now. Like they have more film. Like Ian Garry just opened up the floodgates for and like laid out the blueprint for how to beat Islam. It's pretty clear. Like Islam is human, guys. He is human. Ian Garry really showed that. And I really do think that Carlos Prates puts him out. Yeah, he got taken down by Jack Della Maddalena, but he was trying to show off, man. He was trying to hit some spinning elbows. He was just trying to get wild. He knew that if Jack took him down, he could just get right back up. But and Islam said that Carlos makes the most sense. So I would really love to see Islam versus Carlos. And, he's obviously one of my favorite fighters, got his signature right there framed on my wall. And, I just, that'd be a full circle moment for me if he got to win the belt.
Oh, I want to see. I mean, Carlos winning the belt would be one of the best things to happen to the UFC in a long time. But I don't
So good.
know. I mean, Connor's got a good point though. Like Carlos went out there, made JDM look like he's not even UFC level, and then Islam went to a decision with him just less than a year ago. So the MMA Matt does say that Carlos could technically win, but I think Islam's just gonna get him on the ground, man. But either way, I'm gonna be optimistic. I'm gonna hope that Carlos can win, but I think he does deserve it more than Michael, though. I know I was a little harsh saying what I said. I think he's earned the right to fight for the belt next against Islam. I don't think a Sean Brady win warrants a title shot.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. But that's been UFC 330 recap with my boy Max here and what we think is next for Islam Makhachev. And we'll be back with the UFC Sacramento full card breakdown. Anthony Fluffy Hernandez versus Robocop. Should be a good card. And thank you guys for tuning in. And Max's page will be linked down below. Him and Steve will be breaking down the Sacramento card on Steve's channel. And his Instagram page, also go follow him. Guys, puts out content every day. So thank you, Max, for coming on, brother. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you, brother. Thank you for having me on here. It's always an honor to be on the best thread page in the MMA industry. So make sure you
Thanks,
guys
bro.
subscribe already. If you got to the end of this video with us, you guys make sure you go follow them on all platforms as well. These guys put out some of the best content in the industry. And it's a good group of guys. You know what I mean? They know ball. Connor's profited last night. I did not, so Connor knows more ball than me. But until next time, we'll see you guys on here for the Sacramento pre-fight show. And then, have a good rest of the week. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Let us know down below if you think Islam's the GOAT or not. Have a good week.
Peace.